warning, it is not what people think it is. The reality is more sinister than that. And in this video, through Winspana, we're going to touch about what is to come in the new era, the new age, and in the future. Okay, about the sinister plan for the new timeline of Earth for those who are interested. So when most people think about artificial intelligence, with this one, artificial AI, artificial intelligence, they think all about their daily communities, Alexas, bots, robots that resemble humans, etc. They think about interaction robots, intelligent companions, self-driving vehicles, sexy dolls, garage ports that open when using your voice, Alexa, and all other kind of devices, and artificially intelligent human like beings that can interact with us on a daily basis. Of course, we all need machine to help us in our chores, and we should be grateful to that. With the advent of since the beginning of the 19th centuries, the advent of the fake factories, when the factories start to boom, and if all that came our commodities, all that today we enjoy. However, when it goes out of the hand, then become more sinister, and then we bargain more than we asked for. So they believe that all these things will enhance their lives and make them more fun and interesting. Those who are a little more in the know, aware of that, scientists are now working on make humanity immortal through artificial bodies as well. There is a huge enthusiastic movement of people who can't wait until all this becomes a reality, and that's true. A lot of people here on earth just can't wait for this to come, for this for the time to come when we're gonna interact fully with full automated robots and machines. However, the truth about AI is so much more sinister and much more, let's see, much more even dangerous than we imagine. And many people who are researching this in the alternative community often don't have a clue either of what is transpiring. Hopefully, this article will make some people think deeper on the subject. Devices as interfaces. In his previous research, he explained that the soul consists of trillions of small nano-sized bioelectrical fires with which we can form a body. The nanodeck soul. So it's about photon, okay? The soul is made of photon particles. They may call it La Nanodeck body, because it was created by Anunnakis. I don't know, but there is a possibility that was created by them or manipulated by them. So alongside the bioelectrical fire. So that's what our souls consists of, and that's why we, after the death of the death of this body, can at will um, just appears and disappears as a fire. And so does mean other entities, doesn't have to be a human soul as well to do, to perform this feat. So with which we can form a body, whether it is an etheric body or the characteristics of a physical body. And what we perceive as our physical body, these fires can be said to reside within the trillions of cells that make up our body. Each of these fires contains the whole of the trillions of fires that makes you the soul. So this photonic fires here, it what consists our body and our soul and even our mind. Our mind is nothing but electrical sparks. So that with proper training we can consciously send out these fires over long distances and out in the cosmos to explore. Thus the possibility of some of us having telepathy, be telepathic, but not all of us has these abilities to be telepathic. It's with this photonic fire that we are able to be telepathic, because it sends sparkle of messages, just like those binaries in the computer. This is how we remove viewing works. We remote view, by the way. Star beings in the car, the greater universe, do this all the time, but we humans do it too, without being aware of it. A great example of how we send out our fires is when we interact with our devices, such as computers, smartphones, Alexa type devices, and iPads. Now, where's the iPad? I just don't know where I put. Never mind. So, if all our devices, iPad, computer, we kind of interact, our soul somewhat exchange information and also interact with the other side, such as computer, smartphone. That's why we can get a lot of viruses and the parasite even through the network without even know, through those nanobots, nanoparticles contained in those devices, Alexa type devices and iPads. When we are on the internet, for example, we put almost all our focus on what we are watching or type on the screen. We disappear into the technological device we are using. Technically speaking, we just kind of merge with it, and our minds go somewhat to the things which we are doing, which we are watching, etc., and with who we are dealing with, right? So with that come the possibilities of sometimes our soul be hijacked even without we don't know. And this happened to me many times, that I have to go through therapies to remove all those implants and those sensations, which is terrible, and I sincerely do not wish to anybody. A great example of how we send out files when we interact with the device. Okay. When we are on the internet, we put the most of focus on we disappear into the technological device we are using. Technically, we are sending our soul energy fire right into the computer. That's true in the mobile phone as well. This energy is then picked up by AI bots and gets stored in what they call a cloud, a storage device for human consciousness. Okay, it's stored picked up by those robots, these non-robots, and then it's stored somewhat. That's why they want our ID, they want our password, and so on and so forth. Nevertheless, we can't just stay without the internet and cannot do without to do our daily things, unfortunately. So, because each file is sent into the device contains the entire you, including memories, dreams, thoughts, passions, weaknesses, strengths, in other words, our entire personality, a copy of our consciousness is being stored for later use. So they technically, basically take our whole personality and store it. So what? The more we interact on the internet, the more we give away of ourselves and how we act and react in relation to each other. And every time we go online, we update the memory storage in the cloud. That's terrible. That's very, very sinister. And it cannot get more sinister than that. Therefore, I dare say that all of us right now have a copy of ourselves stored in the cloud. Like once my mommy, who didn't never touch such device in her entire life, and she passed away just like that, clean, I would say. This means that even if we died today, a copy of our personality is still available to the elite in the Alien Invader Force, or AIF, who controls these metrics, who's called them Overlord. Who's called the Overlord. The devices we use are only interfaces between our consciousness and the cloud. By using these devices, we give our consent for the overlords to store our information. None of us can say they didn't warn us. It's true, very, very true. But unfortunately, for some of us, we need the internet greatly. But I hope that one day, so I didn't wish to be where I am, because I want to do without internet someday. But I'll beg, although it's too late now. They repeatedly tell us, in one way or another, that there is no privacy in the internet. Companies who get our personal information ensure us that it stays private between us and the company. It might be true that they don't intentionally share it, but the overlooking body has access to this information as well, and can use it. We live in a universe of free will, and the people have no idea what they are giving their consent to. Very few people listen to their warnings, and the overlords know it from their perspective. They have their backs covered, as if this wasn't enough. We no longer need to be connected to any device in order to give our soul energy away to the overlords. Wi-Fi is all around us, even though we can't see it with our eyes, and now 5G is coming. This means that wherever you are, 5G will pick up on your soul energy and they will hijack it. Thus, we are no longer safe, even if we throw out all our devices. And how about the woods, the jungle? What people don't understand is that Wi-Fi and 5G are artificial intelligence. AI is everywhere in the airways. Physical implications. As mentioned above, our souls consist of fires residing within our cells. This is how soul and body interact through the mind. Then, when we die, the fires leave the physical body and go into the astral. The body now becomes an empty shell that will decay. However, when the singularity is in place, this will no longer happen, and physical death will be more or less obsolete. The plan is to replace all the blood cells and all the organs in our bodies with nanobots. We could look at Jews as artificial cells. With this kind of technology, the new nanobot-based body will no longer decay and die. Instead, if a body part stops functioning, it is simply replaced with another nanobot-based organ. Much of this is already being done now. Let's see what this entails. Can our fire soul still reside within an artificial body-based nanobot technology? Just like this one, imagine this nanobot here. That's terrible. I don't want to make part of this reality of the earth. Imagine that all machines. No, that's not for me. I don't want that for me. Can our fire soul still reside within an artificial body based on nanotechnology? Yes, they can. And the Elitians made sure it can. The difference is that once the soul is attached to a nanobot-based body, it will be locked in. Vamos ver se eu... Oh, I don't have... Imagine the body locked in, the soul locked in with a nanobot. That's terrible. That's really terrible. So the soul can't escape. It will be locked in, unable to escape. The soul will be forever trapped within this artificial body. To summarize it, thus far they have a copy of our soul in storage. They have a copy of our soul. It's just like cryogeny. That's terrible. And then they can do whatever they want with it. I just want to stop exist, really. you're unable to escape. The soul will be forever trapped within this artificial body. To summarize it this far, they have and they have the technology to replace our biological body parts with nanobots. These new human bodies will look like they are biological, just like our current ones, but they are not. Just like this one, but imagine if they are not. Looks human, but yet they are not. It's awful. The new bodies will become immortal, and our soul will be locked inside. Man and machine become one. But this is one reality of Earth, as I can see. I could already research, and I find out that this, I have even viewed a video, I don't know which one, talking about it, that there will be many possibilities and one just lying. As those who have followed my work know, the overlords can only mimic. They have no creative abilities on their own. Sure, it's all fake, fake, fake. They somehow they make replics. They fake. They mimic they call it the vicious Pisces, something like this. The originality of creation. They try to distort it all, and make their own version of the original. They take something that is already I explained this in my other videos. I knew it. They take something that's already in existing sea and distort it. Yeah, exactly that. My point of view. And I have a video touching on that. This is exactly what they are doing with our biological bodies as well. How humankind is tricked into the trap. Within this iCloud with this iCloud storage, that they take copies of files whenever we log in into the internet. They will stored within the cloud, which makes an energetic connection between the discarnate soul and the copy. This is what keeps the copy active. Because the person who just died is now in the astral and is still within the matrix. They are between lives. They are 1 foot there and 1 foot in here. Through portals. They can travel through portals. This soul has many attachments to this world. The soul copy being only one of them. The discarnate soul is willing to incarnate again and continue uploading data soul energy to the cloud, closer to the singularity. When the new nanobodies are in place and a person who still inhabited a biological body dies, I'm gonna read again. This is what keeps the corp active. So within this AI cloud being established, when we die, a copy of files is stored within the cloud, which makes an energetic connection between the discarnate soul who had come out from the body and the copy. This is what keeps the copy active, because the person who just died is now in the astral and is still within the matrix. This soul has many attachments to this world, so they want to erase the hypersphere, the cow, the blast, it's called the umbral. So they want to get away with it, do away with it. So they, with this new technology, they will no more have a need to keep souls waiting to be reincarnated again in the car between lives. The soul copy being only one of them. The discarnated soul is willingly to incarnate again and continue uploading data soul energy to the cloud, closer to the singularity when the new nanobodies are in place. And a person who is still inhabited the biological body dies, they go to the between lives area, blah, as usual, to be reincarnated normally. The soul they have incarnated into a biological body, but this time around they incarnate into a nanobody. But it's not for everybody. Not everybody will be in this category, because the people gonna be divided where they go. Those who going to the future, unfortunately, go to this kind of body. Those who are still trapped in the past will still retain our current bodies. Understand? Those in the present as well. This is very complicated, complex, because everything is now in place. The soul gets trapped in the new body via the nanobot system, so it won't apply to everybody. There will be a selection, a harvest, and we're gonna be divided, as says the other video, that group A goes to this place, group B this place, group C to that place, and so on and so forth. And with that, depending on your knowledge and your vibration and that of your loved ones, you're gonna be separated or united, depending on whether you and your loved ones has the same synchronicity. The copy of the soul in storage will either integrate with the reincarnated soul or will stay in the cloud as a backup copy. I'm still uncertain of which option will be applied, but I would suggest the later. I don't know. Yeah, maybe be the later. Just wait there whether they're gonna have some use of it or not. It's also damn stupid to me. I feel they think they are clever, but they're so stupid to me. I see it's a very big stupidity, really. I don't see it clever. They abuse free will. That's what I can say. They are abusing free will. When all humans in biological bodies have died, when this species here doesn't exist a single one anymore, and all reincarnated souls will inhabit nanobot based. No, it's not that. As I said, there still will exist the past Earth and the new Earth. I mean, kind of Earth, planets like that. Planet X will inhabit yet this kind of body. However, our memory of now will be erased, and everything that we know of right now, like people who are following this kind of videos or channel who want to wake up people, if they go to planet X and have to be reincarnated with this kind of body that we inhabit right now, our memories unfortunately will be erased and we go back to square one, just like we were a few decades ago before this the 21st century. Understand? So, but for those who stays on the future earth, then they will inhabit this nanobot. That will be the future. There is no longer any need for a blah. Blah is a purgatory, hell for some, or umbral for others. The cloud becomes both the new blah and the new grid. The cloud held in place by a supercomputer, mega computer, will be the new human mass consciousness. No, not me. I'm not going there. I'm not going. I dare you. I really you gonna see. I dare you. Really, you don't know me yet. The difference will be that those connected to the cloud can now get access to everybody else's knowledge and experiences. I rather go to the old earth with my deceased mom, my deceased sister. I rather go back again and forget everything than to have this kind of a future. I don't like, just like it reminds me of the Jetsons. The difference will be that those connected to the cloud can now get access to everybody else's knowledge. And experiences like a super internet where everybody is connected to everybody else and have access to each other's data in instance. No, I don't want that. Not even that. Everybody will be connected with everything else, such as the fridge, the car, the city they live in, and in fact the entire planet. No, 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 no. Okay, I go to planet X with my mother and sister. I know that my mother and sister will be reincarnated as siblings. I know that. So I just will be one have to be my mother gonna be my mother, and my sister will be my auntie in the next version of Earth. It's the old Earth, I would say, in the 19th centuries. The entire new Earth will become a huge hive mind. This is promoted by Silicon Valley as something very impressive and positive because humankind will increase their IQ 1,000,000,000 times and will be immortal. No, I don't want that. You have to destroy me. Destroy me, but I'm not going, okay? Just destroy everything about me. I mean, if you can, because you are not the supreme God. So you dare do that, okay? But you will not put me in there because I don't want to become a robot. No more death. No more death. So that dreads me. Although this might be true, they are not telling us everything. Nowhere are we told that this hive mind can also be easily controlled by the outside force. And there will be a hive mind, a collective mentality. Though AIF, we might have access to all information that has been gathered by the human soul group. But the overlords can also manipulate this information as they please. They no longer need to manipulate individuals, small groups, or one society at a time. All they need to do is to manipulate the information in the cloud once, and everybody will adapt instantly. Welcome to the coming nightmare. The factions of the AIF. As my partner Ariel Glad and I have suggested in our YouTube video series, the Orion Empire, Orion Family Feud Part 1 3. There are two main factions of the AIF. One faction is led by Enki, whose purpose is to encourage awakening in order for us to accept him as God of this universe. For those who doesn't know who Enki is, it's Lucifer. Yeah, Lucifer. When in fact he hijacked humanity many thousands of years ago and placed himself here as God or Yahweh. All this, he's from the Anunnaki. The grid that surrounds us now contains the mass consciousness of the human soul group. Can also be looked at as our artificial oversoul. Our real oversoul is the Queen of Orion. I do not think so. I don't know why I don't think so. I don't know. It's also complex, but I don't think so. That our real soul is the Queen, which to me she's the reptilian, and I do not believe that. I don't want to accept. Partly manifested in Gaia Earth. No. And she is Lucifer's mother. She's Enki mother, so does it rings a bell? And as the overlords have always done, Enki or Lucifer created the grid as an artificial oversoul for humankind. He hijacked our consciousness and has been in control of it ever since. It is Ariel's and my impression that Lucifer does not want the singularity. It is Marduk's work. Marduk and his cohorts are the other factions of the AIF. Marduk Sananda, if I don't make a mistake, his son is Enki, Lucifer's son, right? Also known as Jesus. So what you are talking about? Marduk is gotta be Jesus or his uncle or his Lucifer's brothers. So it's all a complication. But I think they are all the same being, if I don't mistake. Ghost. So therefore the cloud is his invention to win over humanity or his side via manipulation. Therefore the cloud is his invention, and he is now hoping to gather the human soul group in the new oversoul. Cohort at the other faction of AIF. Marduk wants the singularity in order to win over humanity on his side via manipulation. Therefore, the cloud is his invention, and he is now hoping to gather the human soul group in the new oversoul, which he can control. This oversoul is the cloud. Canaled entities often talk about densities rather than dimension. We believe there is a reason for this. Densities replaces dimensions within this matrix, another mimic, via canaled entities. We learn that we will ascend to higher densities as we evolve, but it's gonna take many thousands of years. It's not gonna be instantaneously, unless you dare them to destroy you. If they can, destroy yourself. Like everything else. Even this seems to be inverted. A higher density indicates more solidity, not the opposite. What? A higher density indicates, oh, okay. A higher density indicates more solidity, more density. Therefore, the higher we move in densities, the more solid we become. A good example of this is the raw material. This beams of the sixth density, which is higher, bigger, tougher than our third density. I see, understand. Still, this beings artificially intelligent, see, in a hive mind. They are collective, they are not singularity. They are all socially, and I have here a lot of hive mentality and see what as we speak. There are ethnic groups that doesn't have their only critical mind. They still live in dictatorship. They are all socially humorless and are very robotic in their comments and the responses. They say that one day we'll be like them. Is this what we want? No, thank you. To hell with them. I'm gonna be like them. I don't want to be like you, monsters. Go away. Leave me alone. So what's the solution? When it comes to the solution, we have once again come full circle into pen paper, marking the death trap and how to avoid it. I wrote about that the only way out of the matrix is through the holes in the existing grid that surrounds our planet. And there's a video that I put that's from Winspa, okay, from Winspa, and I place it there already with the help of Anchorman through the hole in the existing grid that surrounds our planet. See the desperate now. For more information, regardless of how far and wide I've been researching this, I have not found any other reasonable way to exit the matrix. Thanks, Wes. With all the information in this article taken into consideration, what will happen when we exit through the grid? As mentioned above, the soul copy the overlords keep in storage needs energy from the main soul in order to be kept energized. However, when we leave the matrix behind, we leave this entire construct. It's just like this, how to say it, let it go of layers, take away layers after layers after layers after layers after layers, endless layers of ourselves, and then just let go and go away. We are no longer part of it, and our focus is no longer on it. This is why it's so important to get rid of attachments when we exit. This is also why it's important to understand the information in this article, because the soul copy is also an attachment. We simply need to let go of that as well, which is not as difficult as might sound. It only takes an honest decision to do so. The good news for those who are young today and worried about what will happen when the singularity fully kicks in is that you are still in your biological body. Therefore, you are not trapped and you will be able to live. It is, as I see it, of no consequence whether you die in 2045 or in 2075, so long as you are still in your biological body. Just make sure you are not replacing your body parts with nanobot based organs. Then, when it's time for you to die, just exit the grid as wrote in the linked article above. Very complex. And some people here really deserve that, I guess, because they are already Android.